Welcome to my fourth tutorial, and today we'll be talking about Microsoft Excel. And in today's tutorial, we'll be talking about some of the features that Microsoft Excel provides for us. That includes some of the functions we could use in Excel, how to use formula, what mathematics operations we could do in Excel. And last but not least, we will also be talking about how to format cells. I hope it is useful for you. Now we have already a blank spreadsheet. As you can see, these rectangular boxes are called cells. Each cell has its own name. For example, the cell I click just now is called C3. Okay, it's taken from the column's name and the row's number. So this one, for example, is B5, as this one is D9. All right. Now, you can fill in either letters or numbers on each cells depending on your need. Not only putting in number, but also you can do some math operations using these cells. Now, how exactly can you do it? Well, I have prepared you a worksheet we could work together right here. Okay, first of all, I would like to show you that each cell could have a problem. For example, like this. This cell A8 and B8 somehow got collided, as you can see here. So what you need to do is actually very simple. Just adjust the width of column A. You can make it bigger by sliding it to the right, and as you can see now, the cells now got separated. Okay, next, let's go with our job number 1. We have to fill in the total expenditure spent each month and also each week. Okay, so as you can see, the column over here representing the month and the row representing the week. So now, how are we going to add each week's expenses and getting a total over here per month? Now, first, there are many ways of solving this problem. I'm going to show you way number 1. Always start with pressing an equal sign. By pressing the equal sign, you are activating formula. Now you can do the math operation over here right after you press the equal sign. What you got to do, very simple, just click on each cell, like for example here, B4, I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to put a plus sign, and then I'm clicking another cell, which is the B5, another plus sign, and then B6, another plus sign, and B7. By the time I press enter, voila, I got myself total per month. Now let's go with way number 2. For way number 2, we're going to use Excel function. Now there are many functions in Excel that you might use in the future. But for this tutorial, I will specifically be talking about 2 basic functions. So the 2 functions that we will specifically be talking about for this tutorial is sum and average. First of all, let's learn about sum. As from the word, you can understand this function is for you to add numbers from selected cells. Now, how do we actually use it? Very simple. First of all, click on the cell where you want the result to be at, equal sign, as we have talked about it before, and type sum. Don't forget, after that, use the opening bracket. After you put the opening bracket, you must select the cells that you want to add together. In this case, I'm going to add the cells from C4 down to C7. How am I going to do it? Very simple. Click, hold, move, release. Click, hold, move, release. Don't forget, after that, you can end it with a closing bracket, or you don't have to put the closing bracket. Just right away press enter. As you can see, now the result is shown. Now, how do you fill in the remaining boxes over here? Well, you can always keep on doing what you were doing before, or we could just copy the command and paste it on the same row, which in this case is row 8. There is one here called copy row. How do you actually copy row? It's very simple. Click on the cell that you want to copy its command. In this case is this one, the sum C4 to C7. Move your mouse down to the cell that you want to copy its function, the formula itself, and put it on the right bottom corner like this. As you can see, the arrow changed from white arrow in turning into a black arrow. That means you're already in the right position. What you have to do, just simply click, hold, move to the last cell on the row and release. There you go. Now you see that everything has its own function coming from the function you copied. Now, if you think that it's going to be all the same, sum C4 to C7, well, you're wrong, because Excel basically could think what you meant. So for example, for this, it changes automatically to D4 to D7. As for this, E4 to E7, F4 to F7, and so on and so forth. Now, to answer your question, probably you already have a question. What are these? Well, these are caused by cell size that is too small. What you got to do is just to enlarge the cell size by enlarging the column, just like what we did before. So just click, hold, move, release. Click, hold, move, release. Click, hold, move, release. What you got to do is simply adjust the size until you see the number. That is it. Now we're going to proceed to the next question. All right. The next question would be to answer this question. Start with number 1. Expenditure in every 3 months. Okay. From the clue in every 3 months, now we could guess what we should use to replace these question marks. As you can see, one has been given to you. It's called July to September. So what we're going to do now is to fill in the remaining. How to do it? Very simple. As you can see, every 3 months. So if we start the month from January, then this should go all the way until March. And this one, you can guess, that's going to be April to June. And last but not least, over here, it's October until December. Okay, So I hope I made myself clear here. And how are we going to do the calculation? All right, as you can see, it's asking for the total expenditure in every 3 months. So it's either you find the total of all the weekly expenses or the total of monthly expenses. Now, let's go with the monthly since this looks easier. How do we do it? Very simple, as I mentioned to you before. Start with the equal sign, use sum, opening bracket, and select the three cells of the first 3 months, closing bracket, enter. Now, if somebody is thinking to copy this cell command for the remaining box, well, this time you cannot use that copy row function because Excel will think you're going to start with February this time until April, and this one here from March until May, and so on and so forth. That is wrong, isn't it? That's why do not copy row. We have to do it individually. So sum and then select, this time from April to June, closing bracket, enter. Same thing over here. Sum, opening bracket, from July to September, closing bracket, enter. And last but not least, over here, sum, opening bracket, October to December, closing bracket. There you go. If it's asking for a yearly expenditure, you can already guess this is going to be from January to December. And what you got to do, simply to add these all, or these all, or these all. It's up to you, whatever you want to choose. I will choose the easiest and simplest way. This one, I'm going to sum these only and enter. So question number 3 about average of weekly expenditure. You must first find out which months you need to find the average of weekly expenditure from. So please refer to the question paper you have. You should be given some question paper to answer these questions. I give you an example. For example, the question paper says for month March. So we need to find the weekly expenditure for month March. As you can see right here, we have month March with 4 weeks over here expenditure, and we have to find the average of the weekly expenditure. How to do it? We need to use the function that Excel has provided us with, but not sum. We will be using the second function as I have explained to you before. The function to find average is average. Yeah, that should be easy to remember. So please type the equal sign, average, closing, opening bracket, and select the weekly expenditures that you want to find the average from. And then don't forget to close it with closing bracket and press enter. That is how you find average of weekly expenditure using Excel's function, average. Now for the last question, average of monthly expenditure, again, please refer to the question paper to find out which months you need to get the average of monthly expenditure from. I give an example. If the question paper says the first 6 months, so from the words first 6 months, you must understand that means you must find the average of monthly expenditure from month January to June. I hope you understand this part. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to type the first 6 months, which means Jan to June. And here is where I'm going to type the function again. Equal sign, average, opening bracket, select the monthly expenditure from January to June, closing bracket, and enter. There you go. Now, to answer the last question, number 5, I need to show you a question paper I have prepared for my students to use to fill in and to answer the question number 5. So, I'm going to show you this question paper. As you can see right here, I have provided um, the money that Bruce has. In this case is 83,150,000 per year. So I'm gonna fill in quick 83,150,000. 83,150,000. Don't forget, make sure you put in correct amount, correct number of zeros. And to answer this question, Bruce's monthly saving, you must understand first that the question is asking for monthly saving, not yearly saving. Okay? Now let's get to the question paper. As you can see right here, it says Bruce wants to save 15% every year. So you gotta find first how much he wants to save every year, and you just have to divide it by 12 to find the monthly saving. Now you can use any cells provided to you, empty cells. You want to use these cells right here. That would be fine to find Bruce's yearly saving first. So I'm going to start with the equal sign. I'm going to put 15%, remember? That's the amount Bruce wants to save his money every year. So 15% times, here it's represented with the asterisks. Okay, the asterisk basically is for multiplication. Click the cell which contain the amount you want to multiply by 15%. So in this case, it's this cell. I just have to click it. It reads as L10. So whatever inside L10 will be multiplied by 15%, and you will get the answer. So this amount is Bruce's yearly saving. To get monthly saving over here, you just have to simply use the equal sign, click on the cell which has yearly saving, divide it by 12. How do you division? By pressing slash. Slash is for doing division. Okay? So after you put slash, put 12. So whatever in M10, which in this case is this one, Bruce's yearly saving, will be divided by 12. Enter it, you'll get the amount. Now, let's go to the next question. How much Bruce's monthly interest? We need to find first how much bank is giving. Bank is giving 7% interest every year. There you go. That's the clue we got. 7% every year. Interest is money that bank gives you because you save your money in the bank. Therefore, in return, the bank will give you interest. So interest will add money into your bank account. So for example here, the bank is giving 7% of interest every year. So from this clue, we understand we need to find first how much Bruce got every year. Then, just like question A, we just have to divide it by 12, as given as well another clue over here. 1 year, 12 months. So, right here, all I got to do is to use another blank cell. And what I'm going to do is to use opening bracket right here. I'm going to start with equal sign 7% times the money that Bruce kept in the bank. In this case, is this every year. Don't forget, because this 7% is also for every year. So we're gonna choose this instead of this. Don't get it wrong, okay? This is a yearly interest, so we have to times it with the yearly saving. Then press enter. Now we got the yearly interest that Bruce will get. To get the monthly interest, just like question A, start with the equal sign, click the cell that has yearly interest divided by 12. Okay? Now, to answer question C, we need to find first some of the facts over here. That Bruce spent some money for, number one, actually this is not really spending because he actually saved money, but though you save money, you have to take your money out and put it into the bank. Bruce has to dedicate this money and cannot use this money for any other thing else. That's the reason it's also an expenditure, though it is not to be spent out. Okay, so he saved money every month. He also pays his jiu-jitsu class for 350,000 every month. But don't forget, he also receives interest. You must understand that save money will reduce the money he has in his pocket, though it is not lost. Don't forget, it is not lost. It is kept in the bank. But still, he has to take out that money from his pocket and put it into the bank, right? In this case here, he has to take out his money to pay, to give it to his teacher in jiu-jitsu class. And last but not least over here, this is not to take the money out. Instead, he will receive. It will be added into his pocket money that he can spend every month. So don't forget, this is minus, and this will plus his pocket money. Don't forget that. So now here, what I'm going to do is that I need to find first how much money does Bruce have every month. All we know, he has money, which is this amount, every year. To get it every month, I just have to divide this money into 12. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use another empty cell right here. Start with the equal sign. I'm going to choose the money he has every year divided by 12. Then I know the money he has every month. So right here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start with the equal sign. I'm going to choose that cell that contains his monthly pocket money, right? And then don't forget, first of all, we have to minus his pocket money with the saving. Remember, though it's saving, still he has to take the money out and give it to the bank. That means he could not use it anymore. So minus his monthly saving. And then don't forget he needs to also pay his jiu-jitsu class 350,000. So another minus 350,000. And last but not least, he will receive means added to his pocket money monthly interest, which is from this cell. So I just have to click it, and there you go. I have it completed, and I just have to press enter. And I got it all. Last but not least, how much Bruce can spend every day. It's called daily expenditure. Noted that 1 month is 30 days. So to answer this question, you can do it really quickly from the previous question, monthly expenditure. So I just have to choose this monthly expenditure divided by 30. Enter. That's it. All questions are answered. Last thing in our agenda, cell formatting. Okay, first of all, we need to understand that some question might ask you to make sure your answer should not have decimal number. So we have to eliminate any decimal number. You also might be asked to create fancy and colored border for your table. And you might also be asked to fill some colors to each cells that's shown on a table. And you got to make sure that the numbers are still readable. Okay, to start, I'm going to show you how to remove decimal number. You can see these cells have decimal number. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to click on the cell, and then all I got to do is very simple. I just have to go to Format, Cells. Okay, and once I click that, it will be on the first tab right here. All you gotta do, go click number, because this is related to number, and make sure you put 0 for the decimal places. And when I press OK, you will see that the decimal number is gone. Go ahead, give it a try. Try to make this and this decimal number also disappear. Now, next question. How do we make fancy colored borders for this table? Alright, so after you select the table, go to the place that I showed you a while ago, Format, Cells. But this time, we will be dealing with border. We'll click border. Now, first, you have to find the correct style, or you have to find the style you want for the line. I give you an example. Let's say I like this. I'm just gonna click it. Then I'm gonna choose the color for that line. For example, I like red. And then all I gotta do, click these two buttons, outline and inside. Outline and inside. And press OK. Now you see all the lines that I made before change into the line that I just chose. Now, how do you fill in color on the cells? Very simple. It's asking for different color for week, month, and money cells. So let's start with month. I select all the month cells and then just change the color from here. It's called fill color. It's like a bucket tool. Click the arrow here and choose the color I like. Make sure it's still readable. That means you have to choose a light color. I give you an example, a light brown. There you go. Now I have already a light brown color. That looks like orange. Now for weekly, I'll do the same. This time I'll choose blue. And for the money cells, I'm gonna choose maybe pink or very light red. There you go. That concludes our tutorial for today. I hope my tutorial is useful for you. Should there be any questions, as I mentioned to you before, leave it in the comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. See you again next time.